folks, Ben the Looney here. Welcome back to Artist Spotlight, where I showcase the best artists the internet. Actually, let's do something different today. Why don't we take time to pay tribute to established artists who have a crack in the animation industry? I see that animation and art fit hand in hand, as the 12 principles you learn about animation can also apply to drawings. Not to mention that a lot of animators find a second life as artists on the internet. So, allow me to shine the spotlight on 3 artists who greatly influenced my own style. And who better to start with than the man who made superheroes awesome while we were growing up, Timm. Timm was the head of creative of what is now known as the DC animated universe that lasted from the early 90s, starting with Batman the Animated Series and ending in 2006 with Justice League Unlimited. His shows were always praised for their character design, and Bruce's sharp-edged style of his shows shines through in his artwork. As you can see, he loves drawing sexy, slim girls and big, sweaty men. I'm a sucker for the retro comic book style that Bruce excels at, and I could stare at his artwork all day and night. What's also great about Timmy is he's a fanboy just like the rest of us. He loves drawing fan art of his favorite characters, not just from comic books, but from all different kinds of media. There's something special about knowing that the guys you look up to other things themselves. I'm also fascinated by how Timmy's art is colored. In an era where a lot of art is being done digitally, Bruce keeps it traditional and uses old-fashioned ways to do his drawings. At least I think so. I honestly can't tell how he does his art. It looks airbrushy. Well, whatever it is, I love it. But I think I like his black and white ink drawings better. There's just something crisp and vintage about looking at black and white that I love so much. I also use his basis for drawing men and women and apply it to my own art. Broad and sharp shapes for men and round and curvy shapes for women. Timm's style of art has been around with me since childhood. And it wasn't until recently I discovered just how wonderful his art is. He doesn't have his own website to post his art, but since he's famous, you can find his drawings by just doing a simple Google search. Go ahead and look him up. Relive your childhood, and even appreciate your adulthood when you look at Timm's art. Who would imagine that Disney animator is one of the best pinup artists on the net? When I show you what this guy draws, you'll flip when you find out what his resume is. That artist is Chris Sanders. As mentioned above, Sanders is a former Disney animator, starting his career there character designing and doing storyboards, eventually reaching his claim to fame writing and directing Lilo and Stitch. He eventually left Disney for DreamWorks, writing and directing How to Train Your Dragon, and to a lesser extent, The Croods. But he's found another life posting his artwork online, and let me tell you, you folks are in for a treat. Chris specializes in drawing big-headed furry animals. And say it with me now, goyles! Not just any goyles. Some of the prettiest pixelated pals you'll ever find on the net. All these curves and me with no breaks. There's just something unique about the way Chris draws women. They look like they wouldn't work, but at the same time, that's what makes them look so desirable. This kind of style is so dagnab curvy that I just want to reach in and grab one of his girls and hug him. Jeez, even his sketches look sultry. I say he's into tattoo chicks. That's okay, I am too. While these girls' boobs look incredibly fake, it works cause the rest of his characters are all round and squishy, so it looks perfectly appropriate to fit in. I also love how he gets creative with his compositions. When he's not drawing girls just standing around looking hot, he's combining the girls with his other trademark, cute animals. The results can be surreal and chaotic, and it's a unique way to give pinup drawings a sense of their own little fantasy world. When I look at Chris Sanders' art and see all the details that he puts into making girls look desirable, I ask myself, this is the same guy who directed Lilo and Stitch? Just goes to show that the pros are just as perverted as we are. Granted, Chris's girls do have a case of same face syndrome, as all of his girls have button noses and small eyes, but you know, his body types are so well drawn that it's easy to ignore. Chris Sanders has his own website, DeviantArt, Tumblr, and you can find collections of his art all over Pinterest. Go look him up and enjoy. Finally, an artist who needs more respect and attention than he gets. I can't think of anybody who's influenced my drawing style more than this guy. He's the hidden treasure of artwork, Glines. I discovered his art when I was browsing through Pinterest, and you know that moment when you find something and you see it immediately and say, this is it. This is what I've been looking for. I felt that way about Shane's art. After I discovered him, I soon did a little research. And by little, I mean little, because not much about this guy can be found. He's only worked on a handful of cartoons: Ren and Stimpy, Batman the Animated Series, Superman the Animated Series, and Samurai Jack. There you go. That's a majority of his career right there. Oh, he also did the character designs for Stone Age SmackDown, that WWE and Flintstones crossover that's actually pretty good. But it's made better because Shane did the character designs. And it shows. Kids movie! But yeah, Shane specializes in, I don't know, let me think. On the tip of my tongue, oh yeah, girls! I immediately got an artistic boner when I discovered Shane's art. As mentioned above, Shane worked on Ren and Stimpy and Batman the Animated Series, which makes sense, as both John Kay and Bruce Timm became inspirations for his work. He combined all that was great about both those guys' works together, creating the perfect style for someone like me. His drawings have everything I love in art. Big heads, big eyes, skinny necks, big torsos and waists, skinny tummies, curvy and straight legs, and small ankles. His style is heavily influenced by the 50s style comics and cartoons, which I love so much. There's just something both sexy and stylistic about that way of drawing that works on so many levels. I study Shane's art for hours on end, figuring out just how he draws and the way he does, trying to apply it to my own art. And I'm sure anybody who follows my artwork can see how much Shane has influenced me. Growing up on retro cartoons with geometric designs, I was always wanting to incorporate that kind of style into anything I make, and I can't think of any other artist to borrow that kind of inspiration from than Shane Glines. The only problem is the poor man doesn't get enough work. Look at how well he draws. This man deserves to be in the animation industry more. But he said in interviews that he doesn't like the pressure and controlling environment of the animation industry. So he's happy just doing his own illustrations on his free time. You know, good for him. But to support him, I'm gonna get his sketchbook. Are you kidding me? Man, I would kick a puppy to have a book of Shane Glines artwork. I look at it until the apocalypse comes. Oh well, at least I can look at all of his art on Google and Pinterest. Shane, if you happen to be watching this, you are amazing. I love your art, and I thank you for allowing me to study your style that I love and apply it to my way of drawing. Wherever you are, keep up the great work. Never stop drawing, man. So there's a batch of 3 artists who I love. What do you guys think of their artwork? Who are your biggest inspirations for drawing? Also, can you guys tell me who this girl is? I see every single artist I follow drawing her. Who is she? I want her. Ignore that last part. I said ignore it. Stay loony, my friends.